The Supreme Court has struck down a Hawaii law requiring gun owners to get permission before carrying concealed firearms onto private property open to the public, places like grocery stores, coffee shops, and gas stations. In a 6-3 decision split along ideological lines, the court's conservative majority ruled Thursday that Hawaii's law violated the Second Amendment. Writing for the majority, Justice Samuel Alito said the law, quote, hobbles what the Second Amendment protects, the right of Americans to carry arms for self-defense as they go about their daily lives. So how did we get here? After the court's 2022 landmark ruling in New York State Rifle and Pistol Association v. Bruin, Hawaii lawmakers moved quickly to pass a series of new gun restrictions. That Bruin decision established a new test for gun laws. Courts must now evaluate whether a restriction aligns with the country's, quote, history and tradition of gun regulation. In response, Hawaii passed rules banning guns in sensitive places like schools and parks, and separately required explicit permission from property owners before someone could carry onto their land. It was that second provision, the permission requirement, that ended up before the justices in the case known as Wolford v. Lopez. A group of Maui gun owners and a gun rights organization sued in 2023. The Trump administration sided with the challengers, with the Deputy Solicitor General arguing during January's oral arguments that Hawaii's law would effectively gut the Bruin ruling by preventing licensed carriers from entering retail establishments without the owner's express consent. Hawaii pushed back hard, pointing to the state's long history as one of the nation's strictest gun regulation states. Lawyers for the state cited an 1833 law from the era of King Kamehameha III that banned any person or persons from possessing deadly weapons. But Justice Alito, writing for the majority, called Hawaii's historical examples unconvincing and vastly different from the restriction at issue. The debate got particularly thorny around an 1865 Louisiana law that Hawaii's lawyers cited as a historical precedent, a law that barred carrying guns onto private land without the owner's permission. Gun rights advocates countered that this was one of the so-called black codes, laws passed by southern states after the Civil War specifically designed to limit formerly enslaved people from exercising their Second Amendment rights. Justice Alito pressed Hawaii's lawyer on what he called the, quote, height of irony in citing such a law as constitutional support. Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, joined by Justice Sonia Sotomayor in dissent, turned that argument around. She noted that if the black codes are part of the nation's history and tradition, but the court's test won't allow them to be cited, then the test itself may be flawed. To the extent that we have a test that relates to historical regulation, but all of the history of regulation is not taken into account, she said, I think there might be something wrong with the test. Jackson also argued that the majority's goal appeared to be protecting guns, not consistently preserving any principle of law, and pointed out that states could still protect private property rights by requiring gun carriers to get express consent from owners before entering. Alan Beck, the attorney who represented the Maui gun owners, called the outcome a win for a growing population of Hawaiians now exercising their right to carry. He argued the ruling simply gives people in Hawaii the same rights that everyone in the rest of the country has. Gun safety advocates saw it differently. Everytown for Gun Safety called the decision disappointing, while noting that business owners still have options, including posting signs at their doors to make clear firearms aren't welcome on their premises. This is the second time in just the past few weeks the court has sided with gun owners. On June 18, the justices unanimously ruled in favor of a Texas marijuana user who argued he shouldn't automatically lose his gun rights due to illegal drug use. This ruling is one more signal that the court's conservative majority is continuing to reshape the contours of American gun law, and it almost certainly won't be the last.